I just listed the most expensive home in the United States, the highest residential home in the world, for $250 million. And what's crazier even than that is that if it sells, this is how it works out financially. I did all the math for you, and I don't have time to explain it for you right now, so we're gonna run into the car, and we're gonna do it that way. So, okay, let's go. Okay, and before I actually break down how commissions work on something that's this large, I want to walk you through how to actually sell a property that's $250 million and what the financials look like and what that breakdown is. So let's start with the buyer and the buyer profile. The buyer has to be a multi-billionaire. So first you have to have a significant amount of money to then be able to have a discernible amount of income to be able to afford this. If you're paying cash, because you have to pay $250 million plus you have closing costs. With a purchase price of $250 million, you're not just paying $250 million, there's closing costs involved. In new construction in New York City, you have some very specific closing costs. First up, you pay a New York State and a New York City transfer tax, which is a tax you pay, and New York State takes, and New York City takes on top of it for the transfer of the deed. The transfer tax to New York State and New York City is 2.075%, which comes to $5,187,500 as a tax just for transferring the deed from the developer to you. Then you have what's called the luxury tax or the mansion tax, which is a percentage of the purchase price over $1 million. And if the purchase price is over $25 million in New York City, that mansion tax is 3.9% to the city. So 3.9% of $250 million is $9.75 million as a tax. That is a $15 million tax that you're paying before you even walk in the door, okay? And there's other closing costs, but those are the two big ones. There's a good chance that this person might also get financing. You know how to know this? Because people get financing for huge purchases all the time. Case in point, Jay-Z and Beyonce. They bought their home in Beverly Hills a couple years ago. They paid $88 million and they financed it. So let's run the financing math on a purchase of a condo for $250 million. You have a great banking relationship and you say, hey, Bob, the banker, I found this great new condo. I want to get a loan on it because I just don't have the cash. Okay, great. Owning a home is the American dream. What's the purchase price? $250 million. Okay, great. You're gonna need to put down at least 20%, okay? That means you're putting down $50 million in cash and you're borrowing the remaining $200 million. At 6% interest, which is the interest rates that we're dealing with in the world right now, that's a monthly mortgage payment of about $1.2 million. And that's before the monthly common charges, which you might know in your market as HOA fees, those are the fees paid to the building, and your monthly real estate taxes, which those two combined are an additional just under $80,000 a month. And there's another little closing cost bonus. If you're getting a mortgage, New York City also charges you what's called a mortgage recording tax, where they tax you on your mortgage. So yes, the American dream, go get a loan, do that. Oh, but if you're gonna get a loan, we're gonna tax you on the loan amount. The mortgage recording tax in New York City for properties where you get a loan is 1.925% of the loan amount. So 1.925% of $200 million is just under $4 million in additional tax that you're gonna have to pay at the closing table. So to get the loan, to pay the transfer taxes, and to pay the mansion tax, you're gonna pay $250 million for the apartment and just under $20 million in tax just to close. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, commission. How much you can make when you sell a $250 million property. Now, I assume that you can do math and you know it's a big number, and it is. The average and standard real estate brokerage commission is 6%, okay? 6%. Some people might say that that's high. I look at that and I say, you know what? I actually think that's pretty low, right? I'm getting charged 10% on commission when I buy a chair from an interior designer. I'm gonna need to charge 20% on recruiting fees when I'm trying to hire great new employees. Everyone else has these massive percentages and people are like, oh no, 6%, too much. Anyway, 6% of $250 million is $15 million. $15 million commission, which is relative to the size of that purchase and is hard-earned money because you have to find the person who can afford this and who wants to buy it, and you have to negotiate that deal. Now, what do you do when you get that $15 million check? Okay. Now you have your brokerage house splits, you have co-brokerage splits. There's a lot of other splits that we're not going to go into here, but you also have taxes, right? The taxes you have to consider. And then you think about, do I go and retire and run to a beach with my newfound money and say goodbye to the world forever? Or do you use this as a stepping stone to really start your career, right? I think it's the latter. Every big deal I've ever done has been a massive stepping stone to take my career to the next level and to take it higher and higher and higher and higher. When we started the brokerage, we started Serhant 2 years ago. It was one of the first deals that we did. It was just under $140 million in Palm Beach. At the time, it was the most expensive sale ever in the history of Florida. Did I retire? Did I shut the doors? Did I say, oh, great, boom, you just did a 9-figure deal? No, I didn't. I said, I'm using this to scream from the mountaintops, and I'm growing my business. I want the next 9-figure deal. And then here we are. Less than 2 years into starting my own company, we now have the most expensive home in the United States as our listing, and we're gonna sell it. And it's gonna be insane. We're gonna break records. And that's the goal, break records every single day. So how can you take that and have it launch you into the stratosphere? So that's it. Thank you for watching more Ryan Serhant. Like, subscribe, tell me what you want to hear. I'm in these comments all day, every day. I love you all. Send it to your friends. All right, that's it. I gotta go actually sell this thing. Bye.